welcome back to Sonia's personal space. Whew, I feel awkward. آخر مرة I felt good about filming a podcast was maybe January, but that doesn't mean I didn't film. Like, I kept filming episodes بس ما حطيتهم ولا edited them ولا worked out because it didn't feel right. أحس إن I started this podcast in the worst possible time. Well, I kept feeling like I had to make something happen, like I had to post every single week. And behind the scenes, كل أسبوع كان في شيء. And I wanted to update you guys on what's happening. But I had zero time and I was going through a heavy burnout. Instead of complaining, I'm just gonna take you through story times month by month until now. Let's go back. Okay, I have my notes. أول شيء, I put a note in that I might be saying the same stories that I said in the past podcast because I didn't rewatch them. If you heard a story before, so روحكم ما سمعتوا. Let's go back to December. December in my genre of work is peak time. I was just working. Best keep in mind, my wedding is in January. I was stressed about work, but شوي stressed about the wedding. لحين ما حجزنا الvenue. I still don't know what's happening to my dress. Like, that's the type of stress, that one. At this point, mentally, I'm starting to crack. Not because of the wedding, but from work. Like, ما حسيت inspired to make TikToks. ما حسيت inspired to do the podcast because everything creatively was going towards work. I'm slowly now starting to feel a burnout. I was like, I really want to put an effort on the podcast and I really want to put effort onto TikTok, but like, I can't. تعبانة وشوي حسيت guilty because I'm like, I don't want to come on camera and be like this annoying person اللي تتحطم all the time and like she's down and she can't be funny. Like, I want to be funny, but sometimes I have bad days and I kept being bad days. I was like, خلاص, December, I kind of took a break from the podcast, and then January happens. Okay, January to me is my most reflective time لأن أول شيء عيد ميلادي, but also this time I was getting married. Okay, and it doesn't really hit you in that you're getting married until like you're getting married. فوانا I'm in this headspace of the wedding. I was like, let me go for a relaxing massage. Okay, I was like, let me do a lymphatic massage عشان like I'm not bloated the day of my wedding. I had to fill out a form. I put everything, ما فيني شيء. I'm ready for my lymphatic drainage massage. فقبل ما أتي قالت لي, are you pregnant? I'm like, no babe. I'm going to my wedding in a week. بدأت المساج and I'm relaxed and she's like, ma'am, you told me you're not pregnant. طلعتها, I'm like, I'm not. She's like, I can't touch your stomach. You're obviously pregnant. I'm not pregnant. Like, please, I'm not pregnant. قالت لي, I'm sorry, I can't touch your stomach. It's too hard. Me, I was like, so this feeling that I've been feeling in the past 2 years of my stomach being hard is not in my head. Like, what do you mean? She's like, it looks like a medical emergency. Obviously, I ignored it. And a week later, we got married. Obviously, I ignored it, but I'll tell you about it later. In this week, also, لازم تعرفون إن I designed my wedding dress with my friend in Dubai. ولأن I was so last minute, that meant the dress wasn't ready by the time كنت لازم أروح عمان for the wedding. Which means in that I didn't try my dress until the wedding day. Hadly, and it turned out great because I don't know why I do these things to myself. It's like a self-sabotage that keeps getting worse and worse and worse, and I will never learn. A week later, I didn't take time off. I went back to work and I had to fly to Jeddah for the project. I gave myself no resting time. ما قاعد استوعب at this point I'm married لأن رحت جدة وكل من قاعد يقول لي مبروك and I'm like, for what? Like, ما قاعد استوعب إن I just got married. Or I'm just running on anxiety and guilt in that, oh my god, if I don't do this work, like someone's gonna be upset at me. فأخاف أحد يزعل علي, and that means I have to ruin my life. That was fun. Then we go into February. At this point, رجعت من جدة to my really apartment. ما أعرف أشرح لكم how bad that apartment was, and I probably said it in a previous video. بس يعني some roaches here and there. يعني I don't think I chose the best apartment for me when I moved to Dubai. But I stuck through. And then after we got married, we were like, we need to move. In this move, I was like, let me go check this like stomach situation. Like, maybe it's a big issue. I'm telling my husband, like, is this hard thing, like, should I get it checked? And he's like, you're just bloated. I'm like, ما عارف. The masseuse قالت لي I should go get it checked. He's like, maybe you should go get it checked. فرحت I get it checked. So she does an ultrasound and I'm like, oh, it's probably nothing. Like, I'm just bloated. She says, you have a 9 centimeter fibroid. I get like, what? What does this mean? Like, I thought I was dying. بس شرحت لي, and I want all the girls to know, that it's very normal to have a fibroid. And so many women have it, but some people have it small. Some people have it on the outside of the uterus. Sometimes people have it in the inside of the uterus. And my 9 centimeter one, كان برع my uterus, which was pressing on my stomach and bladder شوي, is large. And we might need to remove it with surgery. I was like, obviously I panicked. But alhamdulillah, I have the best gynecologist in the world because she is so nice. شرحت لي, قعدت لي, رسمت لي, and she calmed me down so much that I was like, okay, I'm ready for surgery. But she was like, لا, you need to go do an ultrasound, you need to do an MRI, you need to do all these things عشان we make sure in what we suspect is right. So I was like, okay, let's do it next month. So I ignored it and went apartment hunting. And رحنا دورنا كل مكان. أخيراً we settled on this one because I feel like it just feels like our vibe. Inshallah, one day we unpack and then you guys can see like the apartment tour. But for now, 6 months into living here, we haven't unpacked. Anyway, after the move, we're now like entering March. I get approached to do another season of a show that I made called The Comfort Chronicles, that I wrote with my friend, edited, filmed, everything. هاي مشكلتي. I don't know how to creatively work with other people, so I'd rather do everything by myself. That means إن من أقوم في الصبح لين ما أنام, I'm editing. So that was my whole March. I'm just sitting, editing. I barely ate, I barely moved. So that was great, but my learning lesson from that is that I really need to start working with people because هني مثل ما قلت لكم, my mental health started to go down and down and down. Well, I started to burn out. Well, I talked about burning out before, but I've never experienced a burnout like this. اللي صدق خلاص, like I was not motivated, I wasn't inspired, ما قدرت أسوي شيء for myself. Like even doing a silly TikTok felt like the hardest thing ever. حتى ويا ربعي, like ولا شيء يضحك. I can't watch a movie and enjoy it. Like it's not depression, it's more like lack of motivation for life. So at this point, I was like, I just need a break from life. And maybe that break is surgery. That's when I went back to check with what's going on with my fibroid. I do another ultrasound. It's actually 12 centimeters, which is extra large. I was like, okay, yalla, I'm ready for surgery. You need to do an MRI عشان نعرف exact measurements. I go in for an MRI. أطلع. They book another appointment with me. Turns out it's 18 centimeters, which is extra large. But at this point they were like, okay خلاص, we have to do the surgery. We book it in. I call my mom اتي. I do the surgery. قالوا العملية is going to be an hour and a half. طلعت عقب 3 ساعات وقالوا لي إن it was 25 centimeters, which means it was the size of a 7-month baby. Basically كان شكلي حامل ولا حد قال لي. After the surgery, basically, you can't really walk. Like you have to like practice walking again, لأن you're in a lot of pain. They recommend like 10 minutes walking, 20 minutes walking, that's it, and then you go back to resting. بس ثاني يوم, I was like, wait, I can walk more. Like أمي هني لازم أضيفها. Let me go get groceries and make her a meal. The way me and my mom are, we're exactly the same person. We panic the same way. We want to help out the same way. ما نحب أحد يساعدنا the same way. We're exactly the same. So وانا قاعدة أمشي في الحر 2 days after surgery, I was like, wait, أحتاج أقعد وأغمى علي. Obviously we go back to the hospital. We're panicked. نقعد في emergency room. بياخذون more blood samples. آخر شيء طلع I'm not supposed to walk that much. But I'm gonna keep that story for my mom because she's so funny لين تقول السالفة. Anyway, those 2 weeks عقب العملية were my perfect break because I was able to edit my podcast episode ويا تيما, and mentally I was getting better and I felt more inspired. At this point بديت أحس oh my god, we haven't been on a honeymoon and أنا ما استوعبت إن we've been married this whole time, like we need to go on a honeymoon. So we decided to plan. قلنا let's do 5 days somewhere, let's do a mini moon. I decided to make a list. I saw this place in Greece called Crete. It's like a honeymoon destination. I was like, okay, perfect. I looked up the tickets, I looked up the hotel, خلاص, I planned everything. And then I was like, actually, I don't know much about Crete. Let me Google it. أول شيء, earthquake strikes Crete today. Maybe not this month. But we canceled that idea. And then we found Nice. Nice is the perfect spot. Not because Nice is nice. It's the perfect location عشان تاخدين سيارة وتروحين all the places around the south of France وترجعين back to your hotel. عقب Nice رجعنا دبي for 1 week and then we went to Paris Fashion Week. هاي أول مرة أروح Paris Fashion Week and I wasn't invited to a show or anything and it was like no big deal, but it was just the feeling of كل ربعي هناك, كل ربعي من بحرين, كل ربعي من دبي. It was so fun and I redeemed myself. I have an episode where I talk to you guys about how bad I was with traveling with Mooney, my best friend, and this trip I redeemed myself because she came. I felt like I had everything locked, like I knew where to go, I had everything in my bag. Like I wasn't the type B friend this trip, I was type A, and I redeemed myself. وقالت لي I did. So thank you. I changed. Anyway, Paris was so fun, and Paris was the birth of Foes. And it's so funny because I didn't think it would blow up that much. Anna and Mooney were like putting our lipstick on and I put my hair like this just to like look cute for the picture, and then she was like, you look like Foz Fahd. I was like, wait, I am her. This is my Paris Fashion Week identity. There and then I knew who I was. I was Foz. But I enjoyed the Foz era because that inspired me and motivated me so much to be online again. It killed the burnout and I felt like, wait, I'm back. I'm back to being myself. عقبها I went to London. We were meant to go for a week and then we extended for 2 weeks. I filmed a podcast episode with Moni and it was so cute. It was one of my favorite and funniest episodes. Afterwards, we look at the footage. المايك ما اشتغل throughout the whole thing وما تقدرون تسمعون شيء. But guess what happened to me? Mentally رجعت. I was like, you know what? I'm giving up the podcast. Like every time I try, it doesn't work out. I crashed out. And then I had a breakthrough moment. كل تأخيرة فيها خيرة. I've been living by that for a while. If it doesn't work out in that moment, it's fine. I'm gonna bring Mooney back on the podcast. She can sit on this white couch and we can say the same exact thing over and again. It's fine that we filmed the best episode ever. It didn't get recorded. It's fine. Anyway, I love this podcast so much. It brings me so much joy. Like people يقولون ليش you didn't post the podcast? Like you're my comfort show. Like it's so nice to watch you. And I actually cry because I watch other people's podcasts and they're my comfort show. For the fact that people watch mine and it's their comfort show makes me cry. And this is why I wanted to do the podcast. But I hope you forgive that I had a mental burnout. And I'm back. This week, my hyperfixation is posting and editing this podcast because I need to get this out there. If I don't post this, ما أعرف شو بيصير فيني. That is my hyperfixation of the week. Thank you guys for watching. I'm so sorry I haven't posted. Inshallah, I have so many more ideas, so many more stories, so many more trips to go. Next week, راح Italy for my friend's wedding. And I was the one that set them up. وحن بيتزوجون. But I'm going to tell you about that story in the next episode. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next episode.